The coronavirus has taken a huge toll on the stock market so far, actually making the stock market fall by around 4.5% today. The coronavirus has had over 2,000 confirmed deaths. This virus is spreading like crazy all around the world. I guarantee you, no matter where you are around the world, you've probably heard the word coronavirus at least once. This unfortunate infection and virus has been spreading like wildfire all across the world into a lot of people in Italy, a lot of people in South Korea. There's been updates of people getting infected all around the world, and it's been dramatically affecting the stock market. So what should you do at this point in the stock market? Should you buy or should you sell all your stocks while the stock market's falling? That's what we'll be talking about in today's video on the Casper Trader channel. Thank you guys so much for joining us on today's video. If you guys could smash that like button below and subscribe to the YouTube channel, I would really appreciate it a ton. Thank you guys so much for doing that if you guys do decide to. But let's just get into the video explaining what would be the best thing to do when the stock market is crashing from the coronavirus. So just to give you guys a little bit of perspective on how the coronavirus has affected my portfolio, I'm going to show you guys the last week of my portfolio. My whole portfolio is down around $450, but in reality, it's down around $617 because one of the Robinhood glitches is taking effect right now on one of the options that I'm holding. So this option really isn't worth $2.50. It's more worth around like 50 cents. So that's the reason why my portfolio is actually down around $600 or around 21% in the last week, which is a huge loss in the stock market, basically wiping out all my gains in the last few months. And I can guarantee you that your portfolio is probably relatable to mine, because everyone's portfolio has taken a toll from this coronavirus. Unless everyone was sitting on puts for the last like few weeks, well then congrats to you. But what can you do right now when the coronavirus is taking action and actually affecting the stock market? Well, from my experience, and I had some pretty bad experience in the stock market over the last 3 years that I've been trading stocks so far. I've gone through the 2018 little correction that there was. Well, it wasn't too little. The stock market actually went down over 10%. But what I actually learned from this correction was you have to keep buying stocks. No matter how much the stock market is going down, just keep buying and buying and buying stocks. Because I know I made the mistake back in 2018 when the stock market was having a correction. December 2018, I remember that I was buying a bunch of stocks back around this area of August 2018, September 2018, and when it started crashing, I started panicking. And I remember that on the worst day during this correction, I ended up selling all of my shares of all the stocks I was holding because I panicked so much. I was scared of the recession, a depression, everything, all the worst thoughts were coming through my head, and I ended up selling all my stocks around this area in the stock market. And as you guys can tell, that was one of the worst decisions I've made in the stock market so far that I know I'll regret for the next multiple years to come. So what I've learned from this is when there's a correction or a crash coming in the stock market, the best thing you can do, and I've spoken to many financial advisors about this, is just keep buying and buying and buying and not panicking when the stock market is coming down. What the best thing you could do is average in and dip buy. What I mean by that is, for example, I'll give you an example of the 2018 little correction that there was. For example, you saw the stock market coming down. You'd buy some shares maybe at 275. You saw the dip coming. You buy a little bit more at 260. And you're slowly putting a little bit of cash that you have set aside into the stock market. You'd buy a little bit at 260, a little bit at 240, a little bit 250, a little bit 260. And then you see the stock market's going back up, so you'd halt your buying. And from that point on, you would still be in a profit in the stock market, even considering the huge crash of the stock market because of the coronavirus lately. You'd still be up and in the positive. And back in like a week ago, actually, you'd be up around $90 on your position just because you were averaging in and buying your stocks in at the point that the stock market was panicking and everyone was selling. So you have to do the exact opposite as the public is doing. When people are buying, you should be taking consideration of possibly selling or taking profits. And when people are selling, it's your time to shine and buy some stocks. So that is my actionable advice for you. If you want to go super risky, I don't know, you could buy some long-term calls, maybe out 2 years, just to be super safe. If you do the risky options, I'm being a little ironic here, going safe options. Well, options are kind of risky, but that's what I would recommend to you. I would recommend for any long-term investor to actually start buying and dip buying stocks when the stock market is falling. It doesn't matter if the stock market even falls. Let's say SPY goes to 240 even. Well, it doesn't matter because your average, if you keep averaging in and averaging in, your average position will probably be around, let's say, $270 or $260 if you just keep averaging in and averaging in and averaging in, little by little, putting your money into the stock market. Once it starts going up, you'll have a huge discount price on the stocks that you bought compared to everyone else who is selling their stocks for losses while you were buying your stocks at huge discounts. So that's what I'd recommend for all you guys. Just buy stocks, average in, dip buy, and dip buy. That's my whole recommendation for you guys. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.